So how did tracking your time go last week? What does your money lifetime value baseline picture look like? Are you happy with the picture? Or does it have a big blemish that needs some work? This week, let's do 3 things. Number 1, review the money lifetime value model to refresh your memory, or if you missed the last 2 weeks. Number 2, talk about life, energy, and conscious shifting benefits of living as much as possible in the life value portion of the model. And number 3, look at strategies for shifting where you're at to where you want to be in your relationship with time. Here's a quick review of the money and life dimensions of time value with some examples. Remember that we laid out these dimensions in a quadrant of high and low value of both money and life. In the high life, low money value portion of the quadrant, we see things like relationships, eating well, exercise, and personal development. In the low life, low money value portion of the quadrant, we see things like accounting, bookkeeping, and chores. Especially for me, those things are low on both dimensions. In the low life, high money value portion of the quadrant, we see things like your job or marketing and sales for me are things that bring in money, but they don't really get me jazzed. And number 4, in the high life, high money value portion of the quadrant, we see things that this blog is all about. It's living your true purpose, your soul purpose, and getting paid well to do it. Finally, on the lower left-hand side are the negative value sides of these 2 axes in what I call the life, money, time wasteland, where things like some books and some movies, addictions, and especially escapisms and news. Most news is just a waste. So that's the quick review. If you did your homework and tracked your life hours for a week, added them up, and computed where your time is being spent on a percentage basis, what did you learn about yourself? Where do you want to make shifts in how you are spending your time? If you haven't tracked your time for a week, then just use your intuition and tune in to what is true for you and set your baseline right now. Next, think about where you want to be in each area. Personally, I want 0% of my time spent in the wasteland. 20% or more, or 20% or less of my time spent in the low life value areas, and 80% or more of my time spent in the high value life areas. Why? Well, there are several reasons. Number 1, 0% time spent in the wasteland should be obvious. Deep down, nobody wants to say they wasted their life away, but many people do. Why? I believe people do this because they are afraid of how powerful they really are. Remember the Marianne Williamson quote, "It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." Number 2, I want to minimize low life value activities because they do not add love, joy, or peace to my life. However, some activities here are needed to address basic survival needs like personal hygiene and eating. After survival needs are addressed, however, go for the high life value activities. Number 3, I want to maximize high life value activities because they bring me love, joy, peace, and fulfillment. It is through these activities that I bring my gifts to the world, live out what I'm here for, and lift others up with me along the way. How great is that? So what are the strategies for shifting where you're at to where you want to be in your relationship with time? Number 1, like any area of your life, first you must create a vision for what your time allocation to each of these areas looks like. What activities are you doing in each area of the model? I haven't said this yet, but you need to define what activities in each area of the model for you because it varies from person to person. What I find of low money and low life value may be in a completely different area of the model for you. So get clear on what activities exist in each area of the model. For you, one caution Be clear about addictions and escapisms and put them where they belong, in the wasteland. If you're not sure about something, get some input from people that love you. Number 2, once you have a vision, then set some goals. How much of your waking hours do you envision spending in each area of the model? Write down your goals in hours and percentages right now. Build an action plan to get from where you are to where you want to be for things that need to get done, but you really don't want to do. Who can you delegate to? Delegation can take the form of employees, contractors, friends, and even family members. For example, I perceive cutting the grass at my house to be a super low life and money value activity. So I hire a company to do it, and they do it 1,000% better than I would do it, because when I'm doing it, I'm just trying to see how fast I can get it done because I don't like doing it. It doesn't add value to my life. So I can also use the time I saved by not cutting the grass to spend it in areas that do bring me high life value, like hanging out with my family. Number 4, if you struggle with keeping commitments to yourself, but you do want to change how you're spending your time in your life, then get an accountability partner or a coach and get moving before you run out of time. That's a wrap for this week. But P.S., if you get high life value from snuggling with your significant other and watching sci-fi, then check out In Time, starring Justin Timberlake, for a quick look at a possible future where each person's lifetime becomes currency that is traded back and forth. It's a fascinating concept. Enjoy and have a great week.